Hey everybody, it's Brandon with another Daily Boyos episode, and for today's episode, I'm going to be breaking down Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny trailer. So we finally received a trailer yesterday, and I can genuinely tell you that I'm actually very excited for it. It looks fun, it looks exciting, it looks new, and overall, it looks grounded to the Indiana Jones franchise. It's hard for me to be excited for many of these IP and franchises that are being owned by Disney right now, as Disney has not handled a lot of their properties very well, and they've sacrificed a lot of quality over quantity recently with their Disney Plus platform. And I would really like to see some changes being done to their overall formula. And I was kind of worried going into this Indiana Jones trailer that it was just going to be another algorithm Disney property that we've been getting all the time, nothing new, just more content, and that's it. And this trailer gives me hope that this movie is not going to be one of those properties. Much of the fan base has been pretty hurt after Crystal Skull, as Indiana Jones 4 was a brutal piece of shit. And I think after getting that movie, people were kind of close to having any sort of Indiana Jones continuation, as we didn't really need an old Harrison Ford running around hurting his back for some CGI monkeys and Shia LaBeouf. We didn't need that anymore. But I'm glad that they finally decided to continue on the story, as once again, Crystal Skull was not a good way to end his storyline. Even though I am very excited for this movie, I do understand the general feelings of why this movie has negative responses to it. First, being the main producer of this movie is Kathleen Kennedy. She was a producer of the sequel Star Wars trilogy, and she was basically responsible for the downfall of Star Wars. A lot of people can argue and appreciate the sequels. I'm not going to bash on the sequel trilogies, but I can definitely tell you that there wasn't enough attention done to them that they should have gotten. And that's a whole different video in general, but it just does relate to the topic of Kathleen Kennedy, as she is going to be tackling another major franchise, and it is worrisome. But she was also behind the creation of Mandalorian, which I very much enjoyed, so it does give me hope that she does understand how important this character could be to people, and hopefully she doesn't just throw it away for some sort of agenda that she holds behind her. But other than that, once again, I'm optimistic about this movie. So going to this trailer, in the first 15 seconds, we're introduced with Salah's narration as he's talking to Indiana Jones. It's a beautiful conversation, as it really does bring us back to the original trilogy, as that's the last time we saw our boy Salah was in The Last Crusade. Unfortunately, we didn't see him in Crystal Skull. At the same time, it's a blessing we didn't see him in Crystal Skull. But yes, it was beautiful being introduced to the Indiana Jones world by John Rhys Davis narration. We get a quick action shot of a desert car chase scene, which really brings us back to the Indiana Jones type of vibe. In the first 15 seconds, we also get a quick shot of Indy talking to his class and explaining about the space shuttle. It's very interesting, as we do understand that this might be the correlation of Operation Paperclip, as there is rumors that Indy finds out about Operation Paperclip, which is basically a secret initiative launched by the US government to recruit German engineers, doctors, physicists, and chemists, and other scientific experts for US technological advancements. So yeah, basically Indiana finds out that his ex-racist girlfriend has been banging his dad this entire time, and that they're not going to be tried for their murders in either Germany or the United States, no matter how many mass murders. Yeah. But anyways, I do like how it's gonna be Indiana versus Nazis again, as that's classic. That's classic Indiana Jones. We want to see him going against a good old SS general and punching a Nazi in the face. That's good old American fun, and we need more of that. And I'm excited to see that. Even him as an old man, I'm excited for him to punch the hell out of some Nazis. It's gonna be interesting seeing Indiana Jones's reaction and response to all the enemies that he fought during the 1940s and World War II are now a part of the NASA program, living under full immunity, and also have hands to the most powerful technology that the United States has. It's going to be a very fun narrative if it does go in that direction, which there is a lot of strong hints that it is going to go towards that direction. Another one of those hints is Matt Mikkelsen's character, which pops out in the trailer later. He's rumored to be based around Werner von Braun, who is an ex-Nazi scientist recruited by the U.S. government and then hired specifically into NASA. So after that shot, we get several scenes of Indiana Jones from back in the day, what it seems like in the heyday, him running on the train, being chased by a plane, or him chasing a plane, and then him basically telling Sala, hey, I'm not going back, they gotta pay me more. And Salah says, "How much? Do you need a show? Do you need a movie? Let me know." Then, right after, we get Indiana Jones talking about how he doesn't believe in magic, and he points his flashlight at the statue. And there's no confirmation of what the statue is, but it looks like to be the Greek sculpture of Athena. Athena is a daughter of Zeus and the goddess of wisdom, so that there is a lot of correlation towards Greek mythology in this movie. So then soon after, we get introduced to Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, Elena Brody, aka Marcus Brody's daughter. I'm really happy that they're introducing this character, as Marcus Brody in the original trilogy was a great character. And even though this character doesn't seem like she's going to be very much like her father, giving away information, getting captured, I still feel like she's going to give off the same energy in some different ways as Marcus Brody, and I'm looking forward to seeing that next to ND again. Soon after, we see Matt Milkinson's character opening a box that has a light where we can presume that this is the Dial of Destiny where he's looking into. I also feel like Indy may have found this artifact first and then was captured, and then Matt Milkinson's character was opening in front of him, where Indy basically says at that exact time where he has seen weird stuff before, magic that he doesn't believe in, but he has seen things that he can't explain. We then get a shot of Antonio Banderas, as we know that he's going to be in this movie for a very small amount of time. The actor himself confirmed that he was only going to be in a cameo type role, being Indy's friend, giving him information as Indy continues on his journey. People kind of expected him to go one-on-one hand with Indy on his action adventures, but once again, it's just going to be a very small role. We soon then get a quick shot of a medallion metal-like circular object where we can presume is the Dial of Destiny, or a decoy of the Dial of Destiny. There's a lot of speculations of what the Dial of Destiny is, but one theory that I'm leaning towards is that it's going to be something like the Antikythera mechanism, which is an ancient Greek hand-powered array described as the oldest example of an analog computer, used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades in advance. So basically, it's this supercomputing navigational system that the 2nd century BC Greeks used, and it wasn't a common knowledge. It was a secret knowledge used by only certain navigators that was passed on only to a few. And I really hope that they extend that by this being a prehistoric, ancient human type technology. I want this to be some pre-Younger Dryas type history. And I feel like if they went in that route, I would tip my hat so heavily down to this movie. I would respect it so much, as, once again, a lot of the archaeology that we know needs to be revisited. So for Indiana Jones being the pinnacle of archaeology in cinema, I think that that's kind of the way that they should take this in. I don't know if Disney really is on the angle of making the Graham Hancock narrative as Disney digestive, but I really do think that that's the angle that they should really take this in. Most likely, instead of going that route, the device is going to be very Greek centralized, and it's going to be a device most likely created by Archimedes in the 3rd century. Archimedes is a Greek mathematician, physicist, engineer, astronomer, and inventor from the ancient city of Syracuse in Sicily, and most likely this madman was able to create a device that, in theory, can navigate through the passage of time, aka time travel. And I'm not really looking forward to this movie if it's really going to be time travel orientated, meaning that if this whole subplot of this movie is him going back in time, I'm going to be very upset. If there's a quick scene involving him time traveling, I'll be okay, but this whole movie cannot be an endgame type situation where we go back to certain situations where he was in. It's not something we need to see, and I kind of already see a moment in the movie where old Indy sees young Indy, and it really worries me a lot, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if Disney does just milk the hell out of Indiana Jones and just takes us for a nostalgia ride 100% all the way through without any sort of original idea. Just basically Force Awakens us. But I'm going to have hopes that it doesn't, and that this time travel utility is only used very limited. But at this point, who the hell knows? We then get a scene of the parade from the Apollo 11 Ticket Tape Parade, which takes place in New York, August 1969, which is meant to celebrate the moon landing. And I really like how they're incorporating a lot of historical events in this movie, as Indiana Jones has always been about that. I also wanted to say that the CGI in this scene looks absolutely horrendous. I don't understand how they can de-age him 40, 50 years, but they can't put an old man's face on an old man body on a horse. Soon after, we get a quick scene of Boyd Holbrook on a motorcycle, which seems like he's right behind Indiana Jones. Most likely an antagonist CIA agent trying to hold information about the Operation Paperclip, working one-on-one hand with NASA Nazis. You know how the CIA does, always doing good things for the people of the United States of America. Soon after, we get a couple scenes of Indy, and then we get a scene of Elena Brody with Indiana Jones messing with the statue of Atlas. Atlas being the Greek mythology titan condemned to hold up the heavens and sky for eternity. Right after, we get a couple more shots of Indy with some action sequences, all being composed under John Williams, which we have confirmation that this will be the last movie he composes. As he is getting older, he wants to retire, and I just want to say that John Williams has taken us on great journeys, great adventures, and for the fact that his last movie that he will compose will be Indiana Jones, I think is a great and poetic ending to his legacy. We then get a quick shot of what seems to be a resemblance of a Star Wars shot, specifically the Millennium Falcon, going through hyperspace. And in this shot, I can theorize that it's the Dial of Destiny that led him through this navigational route that gives him the ability to time travel, kind of like a Bermuda Triangle effect or Kong Island effect, where it's kind of they have to go a specific route through a specific fog or some sort of specific instructions to lead them to point A to point B, whatever that is. We get some more desert and sea shots, so thankfully my boy Salah doesn't have to worry about missing it very much more because he's going to get plenty of it in this movie. And then the trailer ends with Indy riding into the light in good old Indiana Jones fashion. Nonetheless, that light being a train, but still in good old Indiana Jones fashion. The trailer then ends with a sour negotiation, Indy having to use his whip, and him being able to successfully dodge 12 people opening fire on him. I don't know how this is possible, but I'm just gonna have to go with the flow, I guess, for now. So yeah, that's basically my trailer breakdown for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And I know that there's a lot of little things I missed or didn't talk about in this trailer, but I just wanted to talk about the biggest things that captured my eye. And I'm looking forward to this movie, even though Disney is 50-50 on a lot of their franchises. Once again, I feel like recently they've realized that their handling of Star Wars and Phase 5 Marvel has not been very well, and that there needs to be a lot more tightening and control in the creating room. So I feel like they're going to exemplify that very well with Indiana Jones, or at least that's what I hope they're going to do. So we'll see. So that's basically everything I want to talk to you about in the trailer. And yeah, thanks for joining another episode of Daily Boyos. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet. Comment below to anything that we haven't talked about. I just wanted to say you're all beautiful people. And also catch us on our Instagram at _daily_boyos. See you real soon. Peace out.